I grew up in central Vermont, in a very small rural town, had about 300 people in it at that time. Very beautiful, very scenic, but growing up on a rural back road in Vermont can be really devastating. If the neighbors heard screaming coming from our home, they just turned their heads.
When I first met Wynona in grade school, it was, you don't talk about abuse. That doesn't go on.
The neighbors never allowed their children to come to our house and stay overnight because they knew that my father was a child sexual abuser. My own abuse started when I was 3 years old, and the physical and sexual abuse stopped when I was 11 or 12, but the verbal abuse continued until I left home.
What had happened as she was growing up, I cannot imagine it ever happening to anyone.
The most difficult thing was when I had to watch my mother be beaten by my father. We would all try to stop my father from choking or hitting my mother, and it was very scary because she would pass out and you didn't know if she was going to wake up or not. I met Harold when I was 13 years old. We had a teenage romance and we were married at 18. And then the money began to run out, so I decided that I would go on the road with him and learn to drive tractor-trailer unit.
We lived in extremely close quarters. We worked in the truck, we ate our meals in the truck, we slept in the truck.
When Harold and I were on the road, I received a call from one of my sisters. She told me that a child in the family had been sexually abused by my brother.
Richard was abused. He followed in his father's footsteps.
It was very hurtful to me because we had been buddies when we were children. But also, what was even more painful to me was to hear what happened to this child, because I could remember going through it myself, and I knew the trauma that she was suffering, and I knew that something had to be done to stop it in our family. I worked as a go-between between the family and the prosecutor so that my brother was incarcerated.
When she began to believe she could do something about domestic violence, she had not even gone to college. So while she and Harold were doing their long-distance trucking business, she was in the back of the cab reading so that she could get a BA degree. That done, she applied to the law school.
I did research at the Orange County Family Court, and I read almost 200 affidavits. Women were being hit and kicked and beaten the same way that my mother had been 40 years before. And it was so upsetting that I was saying, something has to be done to stop this.
What Have Justice Will Travel does is provide women with legal services in their homes where they need it the most.
We're able to sit in these women's kitchens where they are comfortable and analyze their legal situation.
The idea of a lawyer getting in a truck and driving out to victims' homes was outrageous at the time. No one ever did that.
One morning I woke up and find out my husband had been abusing one of my children. I called Wynona. They're desperate. I didn't know what to do. Wynona has been such a support to me. I didn't think it was possible. Everything Wynona has done for us has been free. I don't know if I would have made it, and I just can't thank them enough.
She will never let you see what hurts brutally within, but she will let you see fire and venom when she's on a mission. And by God, she's on a mission.
There's nothing that I wouldn't do to support her. Absolutely nothing. 110%.
We will not stop violence in this country. We will not stop street violence. We will not stop school violence until we stop the generational cycle of abuse.